Hello, everybody. Good afternoon again. Thank you for once again joining Wolfix University. This afternoon, we have something very special. This afternoon, we have a topic that's all about Canadian beef. The title is Taste of Canada, serving you the best of Canada's beef. And we will have a lot of it this afternoon, trust me. But as usual, this is just our pre programming. This is not yet show proper. There is a counter you will see above me, and that is when the show will officially start. But I have two beautiful ladies joining me this afternoon for our pre programming. Let me introduce them. The first one is a Trade Commissioner for Education and Agri-Food and Beverage of the Canadian Trade Commissioner Service, Embassy of Canada, Manila. Let me introduce Miss Angel Cachuela. Miss
Hi,
Angel?
Joel. Hi, Joel. Nice to see you again.
Yeah, good afternoon, Miss Angel.
Good
Let me
afternoon,
just
Joel.
call in the other lady joining me. So, swerte ako ngayon. Dalawang magandang babae yung kasama ko this afternoon. So, the next one is the Senior Manager for Business Development of Canada Beef for Taiwan and Southeast Asia, Miss Diana Cao, coming in from Taiwan. Miss Diana?
Hi. Hi, Joel. Hi, Angel. How are you guys? Good
Yeah,
Hi.
afternoon
hello,
from
hello, hello.
Taiwan.
Uh, yes. First of all, let me start with you being in Taiwan, Miss Diana. Would like to congratulate you. The
Yes.
world congratulates Taiwan for being so good, handling the COVID very well. How is things there now?
Thank you. Yeah, I think everything
Can you
sort
hear
of
me?
like from my point of view, I think everything's back to normal now. Like people are coming out, enjoying their lives, and restaurants are packed, and the shopping mall are packed. So I guess life pretty much back to normal for Taiwanese people. Yeah. How about
Oh,
you?
we're
How about you guys?
jealous.
How about in the Philippines?
I'm sure Angel will also say we're jealous that you're almost back to normal, right, Angel? We're jealous.
Very much so, Joel. Very much agree with you there.
Oh, yes. Uh, okay. So, anyway, thank you for allowing us to do this, allowing us uh, to do this for you guys. And okay,
Yeah.
I'm just there's a video playing with us now. This is actually a teaser of what will happen in this afternoon. This as you can see, this is the beef. So Canadians love their beef. Is that true?
That's correct, Joel.
Yes. Yeah.
People from coast to
Oh,
coast in Canada eat our beef. Yes, that's true.
oh,
Yes. So I
good.
hope people joining for today's webinar has something to eat prior because they're gonna be very hungry.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. Well,
Yeah, and we will have
Joel,
actually top chefs cooking. So magugutom
that's
talaga
right.
tayo. Yes, you were
Joel,
saying
allow
something,
us to
Angel?
also Well, thank you as well for giving us the opportunity to work with Wolfex. This is, in fact, our first collaboration together.
Correct.
Um,
Hmm.
and because of this, we're able to promote our beef. We really see this as a great way for us to bring in something from Canada to into the Philippines, bringing in a piece of Canada into the Philippines. In the same way that Canadians enjoy Philippine food in Canada. So we figured that because we believe in our beef and Canadians
Uh-huh.
enjoy it very much, this is a great start for us to create closer ties, uh, uh, helping Filipinos or people in the Philippines have a greater appreciation of Canadian beef. Or
Yeah.
this may be a good start for Canadian food in
Well,
general.
thank you. We're happy to hear that. Pero that raises a question for me, Miss Angel and Miss Diana. We've been doing
Yes.
Wolfex for 20 years. Why is it that you are suddenly very aggressive now? What's changed?
I think we have been invest in the Philippine markets for years now. Um, we've been starting. We started with some of the small activities like sampling with the retail partners and some food services partners, and especially now after the pandemic, we think that partnering with Wolfex will take us to the next step. Maybe to lead us to somewhere
Yay!
that we wasn't familiar with, and I think will
Uh-huh.
open a lot of doors. Yes, especially for the chef community and the young students who want to become chef, who want to be successful in the industry. So we want them to know that there's other great ingredients in the world. Like Canada
Uh-huh.
beef is one of them. Yeah, so we were hoping that through these platforms we can achieve that.
Okay,
Um,
thank you. Thank you for trusting our platform.
Also,
Yes,
Joel,
Miss Angel.
For Canada in general, the Philippines is one of its most important agri-food markets.
Oh, wow, yes. Okay.
Matter of fact, as of May this year, the Philippines is the second market for Canada for agri-food products in the ASEAN region. So we
Second,
really,
second.
yes, as of May
Wow,
this year, yeah. So
that's
we
good.
really
But
want to do more.
so how, I mean, I don't know if you want to answer, but how was your sales affected by the lockdown, by the pandemic?
If for anything for beef, I think there's even greater demand now for beef, even for
Oh,
pork
good for you.
products or other products from Canada. At least from what we've seen. But we've yet to see it for the rest of the year, Joel, because as you know, shipments
Uh-huh.
that are coming in for the first half of the year are as a result of engagements from the previous year. So we'll see in the next half of the year.
What about Diana? Do you agree with Angel that it's
Yeah,
actually better?
yes, yes, it's better. Actually, the Philippines is counted number 12 of the Canada beef export market. So Philippine
In the world,
markets among
12 in the
Southeast
world.
Asia, yeah, in the world. So it's quite
Wow.
amazing. And so I agree with Angel, and I want to echo her that yes, we see a lot of potential. Philippine market is definitely growing for luxury food products, food ingredients, especially like Canadian beef. Yay!
Well, hey, we're happy. We're happy that we can be instrumental in growing your market here in the Philippines or raising awareness for your product. And hopefully, this webinar does exactly that. I know that this can reach a lot of people even beyond this live because this webinar will still exist in our page long after we're done
Mhm.
here. So, what is the essentially what is the end objective of why we're doing this this afternoon?
Diana, would you want to answer that, or would you want me to answer
Sure.
first?
I think our ultimate goal is to have more people know our products, know the brands, know the attribute of Canadian beef, and
Uh
after
huh.
that, they kind of like trigger them to want to try the product themselves. So I think that is the ultimate goal why we're doing this webinar. And
Uh huh.
yeah, for the long term, definitely we want more establishment carrying our products and working with us to promote it. Yeah, that's for the future goal. I think with everybody's support and especially this collaboration with Wolfex, I think we will reach that goal pretty soon.
Nice. Oh, Angel, where can people buy Canada beef in the
Oh,
Philippines?
there are more retail stores now offering Canadian beef. So definitely Rustan's or the marketplace. Some
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
select Robinson stores offer Canadian beef. Metro Gaisano has it, or Market. South Supermarket also has it, and it will also soon be available in two more retail stores. But we'll announce that somehow in the next succeeding webinar or social media
Wh-
activity that we'll do,
what
Joel.
about online? Can like me? I just order everything online. Is it possible to order it online? Do you know of somebody doing it online?
Not yet, Joel,
Yeah.
but we're open to discussing that with interested online sellers.
Yeah, baka,
Uh,
di ba? It might be, everybody's doing that now, so it might be a nice avenue to look at.
Yes,
Correct?
yes.
Okay. Maybe another question is how did we choose the people involved in the webinar today? who are these people? Maybe a quick before I introduce them formally. Can you discuss how you came about choosing them?
You know, Joel, the speakers or the experts that we have today really come from different backgrounds. They were trained everywhere or around the world, but the goal there is really to show people that regardless of where people are trained in culinary arts or in cooking in general, that they have the same appreciation of Canadian beef. And if there's something that I personally appreciate about Canadian beef, it's the consistency of its quality. Anywhere in Canada that you'll buy Canadian beef, it's consistent in terms of quality. We
Mm-hmm.
have one of the most consistent grading systems around the world, and we've chosen experts in the field that would best represent or speak about Canadian beefs. We've made sure that these are people. We even have a Filipino-Canadian chef on board
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah,
we
Chef Ellie.
wanted, yes, Chef Ellie, because we know that he'll be able to speak well about the beef, our beef in Canada, and how well it's how adaptable it is in regardless of the cuisine. Because as he would explain later on, he works with a huge group of Filipino Canadian chefs across Canada, and they use Canadian ingredients when they prepare Filipino cuisine in Canada and when they promote Filipino cuisine in Canada. We even
Okay.
have Chef James, Chef Carlo, both of which have been trained in the U.S. and Australia, but both of which have great appreciation of our beef in our experience working with them. They've tried Canadian beef from the East Coast and the West Coast of Canada, but they pretty much enjoy Canadian beef regardless of where it's grown or produced in Canada. And of course, we
Okay.
have
Good.
experts from Canada Beef Center of Excellence at
Yes.
headquarters, and Diana can speak more about that.
Yeah. Yeah. We have two
Okay.
gentlemen living with us in Canada. So it's
Okay.
a midnight for them. So we appreciate their support and efforts.
Yeah. I know.
So we
Yeah.
have, yeah, so we have Chef Matthew. He's our director of the Center of Excellence. So through his speech, you will see a little peek of our Center of Excellence. And definitely he will talk about the attribute of Canada beef and show you guys around and some leverage that Canada beef can do. And Mr. Albert is our executive director, who is oversight the entire Asia markets, and he also managed European markets by himself. So he's very
Okay.
well experienced with Canada agriculture products.
And
Okay,
Yeah.
of
ladies,
course,
we're almost at the counter is almost done. We are almost over. So I'd like to just say thank you for joining me, and please do stand by and watch. Okay,
Thank
thank you,
you.
thank you
ladies,
for
and
having us,
for the
Joel.
Thank you,
audience,
Joel.
20 seconds before showtime. Please stand by. Good afternoon once again, everybody. Thank you for joining us here at Wolfex University for a taste of Canada, serving you the best of Canada's beef. Uh, this is really special for us because the embassy has entrusted us with producing this for them, and for entrusting our platform in pushing out the message that Canada's beef is truly wonderful and excellent. And of course, to know more about the beef, I would like to show you this very short video.
If I asked you to imagine the world's perfect place for raising beef, what would that look like? It looks like this. It's Canada, and we put the best of it into our beef.
So the best of Canada goes into their beef. At this point, I'd like to formally introduce the very special guest we have this afternoon. He is the current ambassador to the Philippines, graduated from McGill University in Montreal, and studied at Institut d'études politiques in Paris before joining the Department of External Affairs in 1982, initially as a member of Canada's Trade Commission Service. His Excellency also served as Trade Commissioner in Hong Kong from 94 to 97 and as Commercial Minister and Senior Trade Commissioner in Tokyo from 2004 to 2009. He was Canada's senior official at APEC from 2015 to 18 and most recently served as Ambassador to Indonesia and Timor-Leste from 2016 to 2019. On February 7 of this year, Canada's Foreign Minister, the Honorable Francois-Philippe Champagne, announced his appointment as ambassador designate to the Philippines. The ambassador is married with 2 children. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome His Excellency Ambassador Peter MacArthur.
Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. Bonjour, mes amis. Thank you very much for inviting me to participate in our first webinar featuring Canadian products. This event could not have been possible without the very good support of WOFEX University and our friends from the local culinary industry here in Manila in the Philippines that we've had the pleasure of working with right before lockdown and then throughout lockdown from home. Allow me to recognize our colleagues from Canada Beef that are joining us live. In fact, it's 1 a.m. early in the morning in Alberta, Canada at the moment. And our colleagues are Mr. Albert Eringfield, Executive Director for Export Market Development, and Chef Mathieu Paré, Executive Director of Canada's Beef Centre of Excellence. We also have the Regional Senior Manager for Market Development, who is watching from Taiwan, Ms. Diana Cao. We thank her for her consistent support with our colleagues here at the Embassy and with industry. And last but not least, I want to thank all of you, our viewers, who are carving out some time this weekend to watch this webinar, and we hope that it will inspire you to give Canadian beef a try at home once you've learned what makes it indeed a cut above the rest. Pre-COVID, Canada was the world's 5th largest supplier of agri-food products. We are recognized as one of the world's leading trading partners, and even through this pandemic, Canada has been supplying food and beverages reliably and safely throughout the world. Canada's dynamic food industry is backed up by a strong food safety regulatory system and a fine culture of culinary innovation. Our sustainable farming practices, our innovative agricultural technologies, and extensive research and development contribute to making our food and beverage sector, now valued at 110 billion Canadian dollars, one of Canada's leading industry sectors. I want you to know that in Canada, advanced genetics, careful stock raising, and state-of-the-art processing facilities mean that the consistent taste, quality, and satisfaction that comes from Canadian beef is unequaled. Our colleagues from Canada Beef will speak in more detail about our beef production industry and our strength as a supplier. My country's strong food safety measures guarantee the production of safe, quality, and healthy products, including halal certified, kosher, natural, hormone-free, and organic, available in a variety of cuts. The recent pandemic, the ongoing pandemic, has been a test to any country's resilience in food production and distribution. Canada believes, I think we all believe, that food security is the backbone of a healthy economy, of a healthy society, and it's important that everyone has continuous access to safe quality food products to support a healthy diet and to remain strong in the face of this deadly virus. Throughout the pandemic, Canada has continuously exported food and beverages to the Philippines to supplement food supply. We are a reliable supplier, and Philippines for us is a priority market and partner. You may know that Canada is a country that embraces a full range of foreign cultures. We are, in many respects, the world, every ethnicity, every language, every religion. lives in our country. And therefore, we enjoy global cuisine, including Filipino food. This openness to other cultures drives our food industry's commitment to satisfy the tastes of consumers around the world. I think the case of Jollibee in Canada and Tim Hortons in the Philippines is quite reflective of this great interaction between our food industries and consumers wishing a full range of tastes in their daily life. Our huge diaspora community in Canada of at least 850,000 Canadians of Filipino origin has likewise embraced our food products and have fused them into Filipino cuisine, which we as Canadians who are not from the Philippines but are learning more and more about the Philippines, we have hardly enjoyed these Filipino dishes. Canadian beef has been used in dishes such as caldereta, salpicao, puchoro, and even chopa in many Filipino homes across my country. In the same way that you have brought the Filipino culture and cuisine to Canada, we have shared your love of sumptuous meals. This webinar is one way of thanking you and of bringing something of Canada through our beef to the Philippines, to your cuisine, to your stores, to your homes. Consumers, and chefs for that matter, deserve to have a choice to experience a full range of different tastes, textures, and combinations. That makes life interesting. And for all you foodies out there watching, I think you're in for a treat this afternoon. We have a great panel of speakers lined up for all of you to show the versatility of Canadian beef and how it can be enjoyed in restaurants and in the comfort of your homes. Chef Carlo and James have both appreciated Canadian cuisine from the east coast of Canada, and they visited Prince Edward Island last year. While Chef Eli Salar, one of the Filipino-Canadian chefs that we have the pleasure of knowing and working with here in Manila, will be able to speak about his experience as a Canadian alongside other Filipino chefs on how they fuse Canadian and Philippines ingredients into dishes that were enjoyed across Canada. And last but not least, I'd like to share with you that the chefs, Carlo, James, and Ellie, are interestingly using potatoes grown by farmers in Benguet, here in Luzon, made from seed potatoes produced by Prince Edward Island farmers, our top potato producing province in Canada. Now that's what I call cooperation between our two countries, between our farming communities, for the benefit of consumers. On this note, I wish everyone a very happy weekend and bon appetit as you try Canadian beef at home following this webinar. Maraming salamat po. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you, Ambassador. Thank you very much for those kind words. Ambassador, I know that you just arrived to the Philippines last February. Is that correct?
That's correct. I've been here just over 5 months.
Just over 5. And I'm sorry that you came here during the lockdown. I mean, have you seen much of the Philippines?
I was able to go to Davao and around Metro Manila a little bit, but not too much. But I'm looking forward to getting out and about. It's a beautiful country. It's a very friendly country. Lots of interesting scenery and history and culture to explore, including the cuisine. So I'm looking forward to get around the islands. Yes.
Sir, you also mentioned the exchange of Tim Hortons and Jollibee. So I'm going to put you on the spot. Have you actually tasted Jollibee?
Once. In Winnipeg.
One. Okay,
in Winnipeg, not here.
Oh, Jollibee in Canada. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, you better taste it. They have a lot. Yeah. Is it doing well? Would you know?
Yeah. I think gradually. Tim Hortons is doing very well here. I spoke to the leadership of the company recently. Absolutely. I should mention that I have begun hosting VIPs at Canada House here, the official residence in Manila, and I'm serving Canadian beef and Canadian wine and the potatoes that you mentioned. And so far, I'm getting really rave reviews from my guests. They see the different texture and taste of the beef, and for that matter, Canadian pork as well. So I'm very happy to showcase our wonderful Canadian cuisine, and happily, more and more importers and users of the product are now available in the Philippines.
Okay, thank you, sir, and congratulations for
Yeah.
for pushing Canadian beef in the Philippines very well. We hope the best. We hope that you can see more of the Philippines in the future, and thank you for this opportunity, sir.
Thank you very much, Joel. Salamat.
Thank you. All right, thank you. Guys, at this point, apart from the ambassador, we also have two gentlemen that is joining us direct from Canada. As the ambassador mentioned, it's 1 a.m. there in Canada, so it's a stretch for them to be joining us, but we thank you just the same. To know more about what they're doing, let's show you this very short video. So it's very clear from the video that they do work with a lot of the Filipino chefs. I'm sure you saw people that you recognize. With that, I'd like to first introduce the first of the Canadians joining us this afternoon. Born and raised on a mixed livestock and crop farm in southern Alberta, our next guest has been involved with the Alberta Canadian agriculture industries for his entire career. He was previously the manager of international market development at the Alberta Agriculture and Forestry for 6 years, developing initiatives for the export market. He has devoted 21 years of his career in operating his own business that promotes and coordinates the export of Canadian livestock genetics and livestock production technologies, successfully developed new businesses, and has been selling these products worldwide with specific emphasis on the Asian and Latin American regions. Let's now welcome the executive director responsible for managing Canada's beef's export market development programs and emerging and global market portfolios, Mr. Albert Eringfield.
Hi, good morning, everybody, and thank you very much, Joel, for the introduction. As I mentioned, my name is Albert Eringfield. I'm Executive Director for Export Market Development with Canada Beef. So as mentioned, we're here live on a very early Saturday morning at the Canadian Beef Centre of Excellence, located in the beautiful city of Calgary, Alberta, Canada, which at this moment is completely dark and as I mentioned, quite early in the morning, but we really appreciate the opportunity to be here with you today, and we really enjoy, no matter what time, to be with our friends in the Philippines. So on behalf of Canada Beef, I would like to welcome and thank everybody that has joined this webinar today, and for everyone who has worked so hard to pull it together. So before we begin our presentation with Chef Mathieu, I would just like to give you a brief overview and introduction of our organization, Canada Beef, and the Canada beef industry. So Canada Beef itself is a nonprofit, producer-funded organization representing over 60,000 beef and veal farmers in Canada. Our organization, Canada Beef, offers market development and promotion programs and services in both the domestic and international markets that are of interest to our Canadian beef industry. Some examples of the programs and services we offer include retail and food service promotions, beef sampling programs, recipe development, education and training, participation in trade shows, and also incoming visitor missions, including, of course, from the Philippines. Both generic and company-specific support programs are available to both our beef suppliers in Canada and also to our in-market partners, which includes Canadian beef importers, distributors, retailers, and food service sector. So Canada has a very long history of supplying safe and high-quality beef products internationally, and is currently the third largest grain-fed beef supplier and seventh largest beef and cattle exporter in the world. Canada has an excellent environment for premium beef production. As many of you know, we're a large country. We have a vast landmass. We have natural grasslands. We also have abundant supplies of high energy feed grains, such as corn, wheat, and barley. And also the utilization of cool climate Bos Taurus breeds, which includes breeds such as Angus, Hereford, and others, all contribute to a well-marbled, high-yielding, and very flavorful beef cuts. So to support our international market development efforts, Canada Beef has a well-established international office network who work very closely with our Canadian beef industry and also with our in-market partners in various countries. Deanna Cao, Senior Manager for Market Development at our office in Taiwan, is responsible for the Southeast Asia region. And of course, has many, including the Philippines, and of course, she has also many friends and contacts in your country. So that ends my brief introduction to Canada Beef and our Canadian beef industry. Thank you very much. Salamat po.
Okay, Albert, as executive director for export market, I would like to congratulate you for making the Philippines second in Southeast Asia and 12th in the world. Is that because that's what Angel and Deanna told me earlier? Is that true?
Yeah, we're very happy about the success we have in the Philippines market. We see it as a good opportunity, a growing market for our beef. You enjoy high quality beef in the Philippines, just as we do in Canada, and we look to grow our business even more in the Philippines through initiatives such as this today.
So how can you more or less very briefly say how will you push it to be the number one? What are your plans?
We just have to we have to promote and continue to advocate and show off our high quality beef cuts, show our partners in the market in the Philippines and potential buyers that our beef is of the highest quality for both the retail, food service sectors, and we want to do different promotional initiatives in your country. We want to do webinars such as this to show off our beef and just continue to promote our beef in your market.
Okay, thank you, Albert. And just as you're saying, you want to showcase the meat, I think your colleague will do that exactly for us. So allow me to introduce your colleague. All right.
Okay.
Okay. So from the Canada Beef Center for Excellence, our next guest graduated with honors from the Southern Alberta Institute of Technology in Culinary Arts, earning the Governor General of Canada's Medal of Academic Achievement. Prior to that, he studied tourism marketing and business management at Capilano University in North Vancouver. He worked in the hospitality industry for 20 years in product development, promotion, and sales in both domestic and international markets. He's a Red Seal certified chef. He's a former senior chef on the Royal Canadian Pacific Railways. He is fluent in 3 languages, English, French, and Spanish. Our guest lives in Calgary, Alberta, with his wife, Dorothy, and a retriever named Coco. Friends, let us welcome the Executive Director of Canada Beef Center of Excellence, Chef Mathieu Paré.
Hello, how are you, everyone? Welcome to the Canadian Beef Center of Excellence. I would like to start by saying how much of a pleasure it is to be here with you in this digital format where we can't be together in person. This is really, I guess, a heartwarming experience for me and the ability to reach out and connect with friends in the Philippines that I've had a chance to work with in the past and continue to look forward to work with into the future. It's my pleasure to be here this evening to showcase our facility, the Center of Excellence, and give you a bit of an idea of what we can offer you as aficionados of Canadian beef, as you get to learn about our product and get to understand its attributes and its quality, the way we produce our beef, the way the standards in place to ensure for food safety, to ensure for excellence in quality, these factors that are going to really make you become passionate about the product as I am. A little bit about myself, as mentioned, I've worked with in Canadian food marketing and also, of course, as a chef for more than 20 years now. And some highlights from my career was mentioned working with the Canadian Pacific Railway. And in that experience, I got to understand how much the guest experience and how much the guest plays importance on the beef experience on the train as we traveled across Canada and showcasing the landscape, the different agricultural products, the different influences from cultures across the country, and how we built this into our menu work and built a story behind the products to help really connect with the customers around the plated items that we would share on these luxurious train trips. And my objective today to connect with you just before you have the WOFEX experience with the WOFEX University and Chef Carlo and Chef James and the team, I wanted to showcase our Canadian brisket cut. Currently at this time, there's excellent opportunities with brisket, and I wanted to highlight some maybe less or more unusual or inspired dishes that can come from the brisket. We're going to look a little bit closer here at the brisket and at one particular preparation. And I would also like to draw your attention to some of our resources, and I think they'll be highlighted so that you can follow up and learn and train with us online through the Canadian Beef Centre of Excellence in our online resources through Canada Beef, our website at canadabeef.ca, and also a new trade website, which is going to be directed towards trade, towards chefs and butchers for training purposes with training videos to learn some of these processes, looking closer at cuts, looking closer at opportunities with various cuts and applications for a wide range of culinary applications for fusion with Asian cuisines or Canadiana and a mixture of the both, which is what we're going to showcase here today. So looking at the brisket specifically, this is a cut that comes from the front quarter of a Canadian beef animal, and it really demonstrates attributes of the Canadian beef as a product and how we differentiate Canadian beef from other high quality beef in the world. And one of the ways that we do is through the consistency of the cut, consistency of the process, and cutting from the packers here to supply high quality products. And right away we can see a beautiful fat cap here. One of the attributes of Canadian beef is this beautiful white colored fat. And these attributes are linked actually quite closely to Canada specifically because of our cold climate. And as Albert mentioned, one of our natural attributes here in Canada is our extreme cold. And so the animals that perform best here actually are some of the best genetics in the entire world for producing high quality Canadian or high quality beef. We've got the Angus genetics and the Hereford from Scotland and from England, and those genetics produce the great marbling that lends to juiciness, to flavor, to tenderness, and those attributes that customers appreciate when they're dining on an entree of beef or perhaps on an appetizer. Looking more closely at the brisket here, we've prepared some to showcase some of the attributes, but here you can see that beautiful white colored fat that is that we associate, or that is an attribute of grain finishing, and that beautiful red color of the lean red colored meat, which is also criteria for our grading system, one of the world's best grading systems, ensuring for high quality and consistent quality beef, which is most important for our dining guests. Just to give you a little bit more of a close-up here, this is the decal portion of the brisket. There's so many opportunities to work with brisket. Traditionally, we're a smokehouse favorite and prepared with smoke, but you can see in more of a close-up here of that intramuscular fat, so that lends to juiciness, to tenderness and flavor, and just a host of opportunities to develop new products for your menus. Brisket's awesome as a smoked product, but think about brisket when you're designing your gourmet burger program. Custom grinding brisket and chuck from Canadian beef is going to give you that tenderness, that juiciness, that mouthfeel, and also that sweet and buttery quality from that lovely Canadian beef fat, which we call white gold, because we have an appreciation for beautiful fat in our preparations too. Let's look a little more closely at one inspired preparation here, which takes brisket in a kind of a different direction. So we've taken the other side of the brisket in this case, which is called the flat, and this is a little bit of a leaner cut as part of the brisket. That decal, as you can see, has a beautiful amount of marbling, that fat, intramuscular, And here on the deckle side, or on the flat side, I should say, is where we can find something a little bit leaner. This we just slowly cooked and prepared for with a bit of smoke and a slow cook. We've cooked this for about 12 hours to really maximize the tenderness and the juiciness and the flavor. And we've prepared this today with a quick demonstration. What we have is cubes of this flat part. I've taken them and prepared them ready for deep fry. So you've got that juiciness, tenderness, and I'm gonna just quickly give them a quick flash fry. And while those finish, I'm gonna quick demonstrate how you can make a nice, easy Canadian-inspired fusion of one of our favorites, which is a sweet chili sauce, incorporating some other Canadian ingredients like apple cider vinegar, a touch of apple cider vinegar, maple syrup. And we're just gonna stir this together to make a lovely glaze for our finished deep fried brisket cube. So we call this like a brisket bite. Fresh out of the fryer, a pinch of salt. We're gonna coat with our lovely sauce. So a sweet, spicy, and tangy version of a favorite sort of sweet chili sauce. A little bit of a green garnish for presentation. Some red onion. And a little bit of cilantro. And now the brisket bites as an easy appetizer that is sure to please, especially for folks in the Philippines as well as in Canada, where we have an appreciation for that juiciness and tenderness and lovely fat that's natural inside that lovely brisket. And there we are.
Wow, chef, looks delicious.
Thank you.
Is there a way you can air freight it here to the Philippines?
I'll put it straight into FedEx right away.
Okay, can you taste it for us? Just tell us how soft the beef is.
Yes, I will do that. No problem. I just need a.
Use your finger, chef. It's okay. You're eating it.
Okay, there we go. So you can see that beautiful juiciness. And I'm going to use my fingers as recommended.
Yes, finger looking good. Good.
Perfect midnight snack for us here in Canada.
Okay, so thank you, chef. At this point, I'd like to call in Mr. Sir Albert to join us in a short conversation while we discuss what you did. Okay, gentlemen, I know that you are doing a lot of projects that in cooperation with the Philippines. Can you tell us more about those efforts and how the Philippines can benefit from what you do there?
Yeah, sure. I'll start, and maybe Matthew can give you some examples of recent interactions. But yeah, like we have many different types of projects that we work on. One of them is we support in-market promotions of Canadian beef products, and this includes retail promotions or food service promotions, or companies that are selling, buying or selling Canadian beef in the market. We can provide them with support through various market development programs. We have funding support for importers, for retailers, for food service sector to highlight Canadian beef and highlight the attributes of Canadian beef. And we also like to bring in potential buyers or chefs or influencers from the Philippines to show off our industry, to showcase our beef industry, and to show the quality of the product that we can provide here in Canada.
Okay, so when things go back to normal, we can foresee that you will be bringing some Filipinos back to Canada to immerse themselves from your
yeah, definitely
operations,
yeah.
Right?
Sorry, I have a delay there. Yeah, definitely. We certainly welcome our friends from the Philippines to visit Canada again once we're all allowed to travel again, and we also will welcome the opportunity to also travel to your country as well with with our specialists, with Chef Mathieu and others to promote our products in your market.
What about Chef Mathieu? Have you engaged any Filipino chefs there in Canada, or even in the center? Are there Filipino chefs there as well?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, in Canada here, we have a strong Filipino community. Growing up, my best friend in school was a Filipino, so I had a chance to experience Filipino cuisine from a young age, spending time with their family at their house on the weekends. And I guess, the opportunity to bring chefs, we had Chef Sandy Daza come and do basically a farm to table Canadian beef experience, where we were able to host and eat outdoors and cook over fire. And that was an excellent experience, taking him to meet the farmers and producers of Canadian beef and meet them firsthand and understand the care that goes into making this product. We visited the packing operations. We went to the farmers market and we cooked together here in the center. We had Chef Antolin also here in the center for Canada's 150th celebration, which was a tremendous success and an awesome time. And we look forward to hosting more missions with buyers groups like the Association of the Hotel and Restaurant Buyers, who we've had here on 2 occasions now to Canada. And I personally have had the opportunity to come and do training and work with the chefs in the Philippines as well, through Wolfex, and also with chef's tasting menu that we did for the World Chefs Federation, 7 courses at the Sofitel Hotel, which was the highlight in my career. So as soon as possible, we look to reconnect face to face. And in the meantime, as I mentioned, through our digital resources, we're building a massive collection of instructional videos highlighting techniques and for cooking and cutting as well. So we're going to stay connected and look forward to when we can meet again in person.
Chef, you just mentioned educational videos. I heard that you also have a promo code wherein our viewers now can get discounts or maybe free access to it. Can you mention that?
Yes, we have an online learning system to really, it's the A to Z in Canadian beef production and even nutrition, health. There are 8 courses, and those 8 courses are accessible through our Canada Beef website through a program called Connect. And so to the participants of Wolfex and the folks out there participating in the webinar today, please share the promo code. So the website is actually like an e-commerce site. You check what you would like to purchase in your cart, which are programs. They are training programs, and then use a promo code. It is going to be WOFEX. It's already established, WOFEX 20. With that promo code, you'll have 100% discount to all the courses, and so we're excited.
100% discount, so it's free,
100%.
right?
It is free. Exactly.
Yay! We like free.
We like free.
Okay, so gentlemen, thank you very much for humoring us with getting involved in this early morning for you session. Thank you for the promo code. I'm sure our audience has taken note and will be availing of this free education that you're offering. Thank you for prioritizing the Philippines as well. And mabuhay kayo. It's time for you to sleep now. And thank you very much, guys.
Salamat po. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, so after those 2 Canadians, we thank them for staying up late or early morning. We now go to the Filipinos. So we have actually taken in 2 Filipino chefs that we know use Canadian beef and have actually even visited Canada for this purpose. So I'd like to go ahead and introduce the first one. He has been a huge presence in the country's culinary scene. He's the former corporate executive chef of Foodie Global Concepts, currently the vice president of the LTB Philippine Chefs Association, a member of World Chefs Association, and is now the culinary director of Cloud Eats. Our first guest, a Filipino chef, is Chef Carlo Miguel. Now, to join him is also a truly remarkable man in the culinary scene and having made his mark as competition director for the Philippine Culinary Cup, the most prestigious culinary competition in the country. He's a former president of the LTB Philippines Chefs Association, a wax-approved judge, and currently the executive chef and co-owner of Ikomai and his famous Tochi desserts. I'd like to call in both chefs Carlo Miguel and Chef James Antolin. Hello, guys.
Hi, Joel. How are you?
Hi, Joel.
Hello, hello, hello.
Thanks for having
Like I
us.
mentioned, I'm sure you use Canadian beef, but how well do you know Canadian beef?
Well,
I use it all the time in the restaurants, definitely. I'm very happy with the product. I'm happy with the consistency that I get from it. And, having traveled to Prince Edward Island, we saw firsthand the care and the attention they put into the Canadian beef. And that's why I really am an advocate for it.
I use
James?
I use it in my restaurant. Actually, first time last year when I traveled to Canada, firsthand we saw, how, like what Carlo was saying, how they take care of the product. Not only that, but of course there are other products that Canadians have, like the seafood. But one particular thing that really dawns on me was the Canadian beef, where it's very consistent compared to the others. Meaning you'll get if you get it today with marbling, the next time around when they deliver it'll be the same quality, the same taste. And I have a story to tell every time I talk about my dish in Ikomai. There is a story to tell about the Canadian beef, how the quality of products and how the people take care of them. I'm really happy about it.
Okay. So you're sold on the product.
Pretty
Oh,
much, yes,
absolutely.
we are absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't be here, right? I mean,
Yes,
Exactly.
it's one of the things that it's like we're changing our menu through the product, because again, there are different types of products that they have now bringing in the Philippines. Because before, like you said, 20 years ago when you first started Wolfex, maybe you wouldn't find Canadian beef here, but now there are a lot of different cuts that they're bringing in, and that's good for us. Actually, we've tested some of them. Like Carlo will attest to that. Carlo did some
Absolutely.
fantastic job. Yeah, doing the
Oh,
video.
it's fantastic when you have good quality product. You just let it shine. You don't have to do too much to it.
It makes our
Nice,
job
nice.
easier.
Okay.
It makes it easier for
Okay.
us.
So can I put your testament to the test by asking you guys to cook using Canadian beef now?
Yeah,
Sure.
let's
Is
do
that
it.
okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Absolutely.
maybe can we start with Carlo? What would be your first dish to cook?
I think we're gonna do firstly. The first dish I'm gonna cook will be a top plate dish, but we're
Thank
gonna
you,
do some
Joel.
butchery
Today,
first.
I'm here to discuss with you some Canadian beef. So we have some fantastic Canadian beef here, some AAA grade and prime grade cuts. So what we have is a top blade. We've got some chuck eye, brisket, a beautifully marbled short rib, and the king of all cuts, the ribeye. But wait, I think there's something missing here.
Hey, Carlo. I'm
James,
here. Yes.
that's what was missing, huh?
So what I need for today is actually some beautiful cuts here. But what I need from you is a ribeye.
So you're going to use the ribeye? Fantastic.
Exactly. I need about 350 grams, maybe about 2 slices to
Yeah.
3.
I'll get you. I think I can get you 3 out of that.
So can you do that for me?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
All right. Well, I guess I better get cutting for James. All right. So these cuts make me immediately think about a burger. So I'm about to make a burger for you. I have a signature way that I put the patty together. And what I've done is I've cubed up some short rib, some brisket, and some chuck roll.
Yeah, so this is my
What are you doing
signature
now?
burger making. So what we're doing now is I'm seasoning up the chuck roll in cubes, and we need to sit this for about 45 minutes so it draws out protein, and that protein is going to be
45
used
minutes.
to bind. The next step here, we're actually grinding up through a fine die the short rib and the brisket. So this is going to create the
Just the
fat,
two.
and it's like, yes. And what we're doing there is we're gonna create like our own slab of beef, and this will become the marbling, and the chuck will become like the lean part. So now we actually have
and
to mix
then
the ground beef through the cubed beef. This makes a big
okay.
difference. This is the original part of my burger.
Okay, for this part, I need an extra pair of hands because I need someone to feed the meat into the grinder while I catch it as it comes out. Can Faye, can you come in and give me a hand?
Hi, Deb.
Thank you very much. Okay, so all you got to do, you turn it on and just feed equal amounts of the ground meat and the cubed meat into here, and I'll catch it as it comes out. Keep it going, steady stream.
Okay, chef. Let me just go back to what you did a little bit earlier. Why did you grind the two cuts and then mix it to the cubes? Why is that? Why not grind it all together?
Yeah, because I want to distribute it evenly throughout the burger, and I also want the richer, fattier cuts to be a little bit finer, and I want the chuck to be a bit bigger, so it's like the steaky part. It's all about texture, and what we're doing
Very
now
unusual
is we're catching.
process.
Yeah, so we catch the meat as it comes out of the grinder, so we try and lay all the fibers in one direction to give it a better texture as well.
Okay. I hope the audience got that. Which cuts did you grind first? What are the cuts?
So it was the short rib and the brisket, the fattier cuts.
Okay.
Those are the ones grind first, and the chuck, which is the one that's seasoned, that's going to be like your steak or your open part, the meaty part.
It does make sense when you talk about it. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, this
Okay,
are.
and
I really studied this to try and get the best burger patty I could make.
And you've succeeded. I noticed that you have like a cling wrap at the bottom. Is it standard way of doing this?
Well, Lo, instead of compacting a patty, we're actually going to form it into a log or into a torchon. This way we can control how compact it is, so we can have a nice burger that breaks apart rather than something that's tough that you have to chew through.
Nice.
And it also controls the shape and the size.
Yeah, so I guess this is when you determine the diameter that you would like your patties to be, right? Nice. They said it's like a giant longanisa.
So after chilling in the fridge overnight to set, this is what it looks like. I'm going to cut this now into patties.
So you can see it's set up nicely. So the patties I like to cut around an inch thick. I like a good thick steaky burger.
And as you said, you chilled it for how long?
A minimum of 8 hours. Chiller only, no need to freeze. I don't like to freeze my meat once I have it.
So here are my patties cut. I'm going to put them aside now, and I'm going to start on the top blade for the steak. Okay, so the only cut left that we haven't dealt with yet is the top blade. This is actually one of my favorites. So I'm going to grab this now, and we're going to start butchering this down. I will show you how to trim and prepare this.
What is that you're taking away now?
So we're trimming off the silver skin or the sinew from the top blade. So it's a little bit of work, but it's definitely worth it because this is one of my favorite cuts. Honestly, the flavor profile of this is very rich and very meaty.
So do you just throw away the silver skin?
Oh no, all that can be used for sauce making, for stocks. It can definitely be used to add flavor to your dish, but not preferred for eating. So this side also has to come out. This is very thick as well. This is actually the side where it connects to the shoulder blade. So because it's connecting to the shoulder blade from this side, it's very, very thick. So you won't be able to eat that. But again, good for stocks, good for sauces.
So you're saying that this is really comparable in terms of texture to the ribeye when done properly, right?
Absolutely, I think so. But I even like it better because it's got better flavor than the ribeye. It's got a more pronounced, the deeper, beefier flavor than the ribeye, and the texture, when cooked properly, is close. It's almost as tender. So here, I like.
Do you have an idea how much cheaper it is than ribeye?
Yeah, it's about half the price, usually. So what I'm doing here is, when I butcher my top blade, I cut it into 3 pieces. So the front part, if you can see, there's that piece of sinew or collagen running through the middle. In the front part, it's very small, so you don't have to worry about taking it out. but the middle part and the end part, it gets thicker and thicker, and you need to take that out. So as I'm showing there, we need to take that out. And the best way to take that out is just to butterfly it open and follow the seams and get that thick part of sinew or silver skin or collagen out.
So it would be a mistake to leave it inside.
Yeah, absolutely. That will take a lot of cooking to break down. You won't be able to eat it like a steak. I know some people have braised the top blade, but for me, I think it's a waste to braise it. I think it's much better in a steak. So you just have to trim it out, both sides, and you'll get a nice, what I call a flat iron or a top blade steak out of each side.
But you've got to have really good knife skills to do this, right?
Well, I think it just takes a bit of practice, but honestly, the meat's there. You just follow the seams. So that's the most important thing, to be guided. Just follow the seams.
What is the grammage of this? Can you tell by just looking?
Yeah, so I like to cut these at around 250. I have big hands, that's why it doesn't look so big.
If you have a restaurant, how much would that sell for?
I think I could easily sell that. I used to sell that for about 890 to 1,000, depending on. But 890 was a good price.
890 for that kind of a steak.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's quite affordable and a good size.
Okay, so chef, you've cut the meats now. Now it's time to cook it. Which of the cuts are we going to start with?
Okay, so I think cooking first. We'll start out with the top blade.
Okay, let's show it.
Yeah, let's do it.
So now I'm going to cook for you the top blade steak. We have beautiful Canadian AAA grade top blade steak. So I'm going to sear the steak in butter. Beautiful, beautiful fresh butter. I have also, to finish the steak, is a compound butter. There's garlic. There's a few herbs in here, a few different spices, and some anchovies and a few other things. This is one of my secret recipes that I've been doing for many years, and it goes great with steak. I have a little bit of asparagus here. This one's all interesting. So what these are fondant potatoes. So a potato that's cooked slowly in butter. There's lots of butter on this dish. I love butter. So these are purple potatoes. So that's what they look like out of the ground. So let me cut one for you so you can see the inside. It's okay. So you can see it's really purple inside. The next part is we turn the purple potatoes into a nice pomme puree or a mashed potato. And this is my seasoning mix. So this has salt, paprika, pepper, and celery salt. So seasoning from a height so you get a really nice even coverage over the meat. And be generous. I was always taught by the old European guys and the old Italian nonnas, be generous with your food.
Okay, tell us more about this, chef.
Yeah, so nice hot pan, a little thin layer of oil, and we're going to get a really good crust. So good hard sear to get a nice crust, because I think that's where the flavor and the best flavor for steak comes.
So searing is just just getting it to be brown. Is there a technique to searing?
Yeah, just good high heat. Get the steak in there. I like to season the steak a few minutes before searing, so you get a good crust on the outside, and you just want that caramelization. That's where all the flavors coming from. And you saw halfway through, I put a nice big knob of butter in there because that's going to give you even more flavor.
Yeah, you love butter, I can see.
Oh, it's what makes everything better.
Nice.
So we're just rolling it around. So that's still going to be around rare, and we're going to carve it up, and we're still going to gratinate the flavored butter on top so that it goes through to a nice medium rare. So I like doing that because I like the flavor to soak into the cut steak of the flavored butter. And top blades of cut, you don't want to have too undercooked. You want it to be around medium rare to medium, and it's at its best at that stage. I would say even ribeye would be the same. Because you know, the only steak that I would eat rare would be a tenderloin because there's almost no connective tissue. But all these other steaks that there
Okay.
are some connective tissue, you want to take it to at least medium rare or medium because that's going to give you better texture.
Okay.
So
Now
we're
you're
just going to
plating it.
plate up now. Yeah, yeah. So that's just the purple potatoes that we put on the plate and the asparagus, and we finish it with the steak, which is the crowning glory.
Beautiful. What are those micro herbs?
So we just put some micro basil on there because you know it reflects a
Uh-huh.
little bit of the herbs into the butter as well.
Nice. Yummy, yummy, chef.
Yeah,
So
it's
it is
simple,
something
but
that,
you know,
yeah, it doesn't look very difficult, but it looks
no, not at all.
wonderful.
Yeah, you know, this is something that I would be happy serving for lunch at one of my restaurants.
Okay, okay, chef. So we've done this. Now, I believe you have some burgers that we're excited about. First of all, why are you so known about, as a burger person? I'd like to say a Burger
Yeah.
King.
No, okay. So with the burger, I've actually been known as a chef who likes to cook or scientific, you know, look at the scientific reasons behind the food and cooking. So
Uh-huh.
what I did a few years ago was, you know, I love burgers, so I decided to look at the science behind burgers and really come up with a different way, or you know, and research a new way. That's why you saw the burger making or the patty making was very different to what other people would do.
Okay, I'm excited to see your burger, your umami burger, and if you're gonna give
Yeah,
away some secrets. So can we watch?
yeah. Let's look at.
Okay,
We're
let's
gonna
do it.
make the umami burger, okay? So now I'm just buttering some buns here. But what we're gonna do, I have here my famous umami sauce. I could tell you what's in it, but then I'd have to kill you. Okay? So we have ingredients. I'll tell you a few ingredients, but not all. There are some things like fish sauce, Japanese mayo, garlic, ginger. I'm gonna stop there. Okay, then these are just some standard caramelized onions cooked slowly in butter until all the sweetness comes out. Then I have two kinds of cheese here. I have a Colby Jack and a white cheddar for the sharpness. So that's basically it, and those beautiful burger patties that we made earlier. So it's a very simple burger, but I tell you what, it's gonna blow your mind.
Okay, so what are we doing now?
I lost video. Sorry, Joel.
You lost your video. Anyway, you're
Yeah,
currently
here we
frying your
go.
patties.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
So we're searing up the beef. I'm back on now. So we're searing up the beef and getting the patties going. We got a nice toast on the buns, and so you just want to get a good crust on the beef before we put the cheese on.
What about the doneness of the burger? How do you like
So
it?
I like to serve my burgers medium, especially with this great
Medium.
quality Canadian beef. You know, it would be a shame to go well done.
We're gonna put these together, and I've got a very special guest to help me put them together. So we've got His Excellency, the Ambassador of Canada. He is gonna help me put these excellent burgers together, made from Canadian beef.
Yes, we're doing beef, Carlo. Chef Carlo, we're doing beef. I brought my Canadian hat,
Excellent.
and I'm going to
Beef
bring
Rangers,
it. Yeah.
fantastic. So I'm gonna put you to work,
Oh, good.
okay? So we're gonna grab a plate each. Grab you your plate as well. Grab yourself your own bun. I'll grab mine.
Okay.
We're gonna do these together, okay?
Okay.
So first thing, we're gonna grab my secret umami sauce. So
Ooh.
grab a spoonful of each.
Secret, is it?
It's very
It
secret.
looks wonderful.
I could tell you what's in it, but I'd have to kill you.
So we put it on each.
Yeah, a good amount on
Wow,
each side because this
okay.
is what makes it. So
That's
I'm gonna
pretty-
reach across you there.
Pretty powerful stuff.
Very
Very flavorful.
It's the good stuff. Yep, definitely. There you go. So now I'm going to grab a patty. So we've got a lot of cheese on this patty.
Yeah.
So we'll grab
Oh, it looks amazing.
put that one on there. Grab this one on here.
Wow.
Then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to grab these caramelized onions. Okay.
Okay.
So grab yourself some caramelized onions. A good amount of caramelized onions. There you go.
Okay.
I think that's about good.
Okay.
Very nice. That's just, it'll end up in the same place. Don't
Yeah.
worry about that.
Okay.
There you go. And now we're just going to close these off.
Okay.
And there you go. That is my signature umami burger. It's simple but deceivingly delicious.
Well, to add to the deliciousness of this wonderful burger, we have to add, I've also brought along Chef Carlo some Canadian red wine.
Oh, fantastic.
I think
Can't wait to get into that.
With the burger.
Absolutely will.
So I enjoy diving into this wonderful burger made with Canadian beef.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, thank you very much.
Well, friends, I want to thank everybody for taking part in this webinar today. I hope you've been inspired to try Canadian beef at home. The chefs today have prepared and delivered some wonderful ways of showing off Canadian beef and enjoying it, tasting it. And I want to wish everybody a very happy weekend. Bon appétit, merci. And thank you very much to all the chefs involved in this wonderful webinar, which I really enjoyed. And I hope you have too.
Thank you very much for gracing us with your presence and helping me with these burgers.
Well, I enjoyed diving in. We can dive in together to each of our burgers with some really good Canadian wine.
Let's do it.
And enjoy the weekend.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Here comes the food.
Oh, wow. That looks fantastic.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Which one did you make?
Oh, they're all, maybe this one here, closest to me. Look at those flags. Canada beef.
Thank you, Chef.
Okay, well, that looks terrific.
Mm-hmm.
Let's begin. We put the best of Canada into this beef.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is going to be an amazing tasting experience.
I'm sure.
Just looking at it, smelling it, the texture, fantastic. Chef Ray, I want to thank you very much for your contributions to this. It's an amazing spread. I really appreciate tremendous efforts, expertise that you bring, your knowledge of the product is absolutely amazing.
No, thank you very much. It's excellent quality product, so happy to contribute what I can.
Let me also just introduce Chef Joseph, who is the chef at Canada House at the official residence of Canada, where we serve only Canadian beef. Okay, I can't wait any longer. It's just so tempting. Let's dive into these burgers and steaks. This looks fantastic. All right, Chef Ray, what do you think?
Of course. Thank you. Thank you.
Chef Ray, we also have Filipino potatoes that are made using Canadian genetics, Canadian seed potatoes, helping Filipino farmers increase their yield by 27% in just 1 year.
Wow. Thank you very much.
It's an amazing sign of the cooperation we have between our two countries.
Can't wait to try them.
Yeah, they look fantastic.
Yep. Amazing. Purple potatoes.
Yeah.
Excellent. Still good.
Yeah. I have to admit, I've never had a purple potato in my life. Wow.
I'm jealous, Chef. I want your burger.
Oh, I'm happy that His Excellency got to try my burger and what I can do with the Canadian beef there.
Yeah. So, do we expect more burgers from you in the future? Is it something that will come out soon?
Yeah, absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. I've actually just launched some under the Burger Beast brand, and it's available on Food Panda, Grab Food, and Lala Food.
Okay, so for all our audience, you can grab a bite, you can grab a taste of Chef Carlos burger online, right? Okay,
Yes,
at this
that's
point,
correct.
I'd like to bring in Chef James. Chef James.
Hi guys.
You saw Chef Carlo. It's your turn. Can you beat him?
Of course, yeah. With my ribeye, I think I have a better beef.
You got the top cut.
Yes, good quality, really fantastic, amazing. So
Okay, so Chef James,
let's do it.
prove your worth. So let's watch this.
All right, let's do it. Carl, see you later.
Yeah, see you, James. Good luck.
Hi, Joel. This is my dish for today. It's actually ribeye, Canadian beef, kakuni, which is Japanese inspired since I own a Japanese restaurant. These are my ingredients. First off, we're gonna do the kakuni sauce, which is, I have the mirin, soy sauce, some brown sugar, ginger, and leeks. Okay, so when we put it all together, we boil it. You come up with this a little bit thick sweet sauce. So that will be our kakuni sauce. On top of that, when I plate it later on, we will have these amazing potatoes from Benguet, which is the seeds came from Canada. So this is our mashed potato. And of course, we have our cherry tomatoes, baby carrots, and some broccoli. To go with that, we have some tamago eggs, which we actually marinated in soy sauce and a little bit of mirin. Okay, so let's get going and let's cook.
Ayan na, James. All right, tell us what you're doing.
Okay, so I'm seasoning the ribeye. As Chef Carlo said, don't mess around with it. So just I season it with salt and pepper. That's it. A little bit of olive oil, and then of course it has to be hot. Your pan has to be really hot, smoking hot. This one you just sear it. I would say about it's thick, so about 5 minutes each side.
5 minutes.
Yeah. We just want to sear it so we can seal the juice inside and leave the flavor in there. So smoking hot. The pan has to be smoking hot.
So what doneness are you going to do
Right
in
now,
this phase of the cooking?
it's still rare because later on we're gonna braise it on to the kakuni sauce. So this is rare.
So it's gonna hit fire again
Yes,
later
it's
on.
gonna be parang cooked twice. It's gonna be cooked twice. As you
Okay.
can see here, we'll let it rest. So for another maybe 5 minutes, and then we'll just cut it on strips. Okay,
How thick are your strips?
about an inch, depending. This one will probably have 5 pieces on it. So the strips we'll use all of those strips for this. This is about 2 plates. We can get at least 2 plates on this. But this one's for you. Really, as you can
For
see,
me?
at least
Okay.
it's still rare. So here we go.
Okay.
We're gonna put it back on the kakuni sauce. We're gonna braise it.
Is this a dish particularly? Is it on the sweet side?
Yes, the sauce is on the sweet side. Actually, this dish, in Japanese, we use pork. Okay, so I made a little bit of a twist using, of course, this is the prime cut. So, like I said, beautiful flavors comes out from the beef, aside from the sauce, right? The tenderness of the beef, really tender. So there you go. I'm just basting it until the sauce clings into the beef. Okay, so it has to thicken a little. So
Okay.
it will like embracing the beef. So they're like married together. So
Nice.
so the flavor is there. The flavor is fantastic. Okay. Now we're gonna
Around how long? How many minutes is that in that pan?
uh 5 to 6 minutes. It's really fast because you prepared the sauce already. It's
Okay.
on the still on the runny side, but of course, as you baste it, as you go on with the heat, it will thicken. Okay, there you go. We're ready to plate.
Now I'm done with my braising with the ribeye. I'm gonna start plating now. Joel, watch and see.
Diba, Joel?
Yabang? Sige. Okay, let's see.
So now this is actually a Japanese mashed potato. I mean Japanese mustard mashed potato. Put a little bit of mustard because mustard goes with the beef. So just plate it. There you go, putting it together, and then we just put on the tamago, baby carrots,
Nice colors. Yeah, nice colors, chef.
and some cherry tomatoes.
Nagugutom ako.
Just put a little bit of sauce right there. Easy,
Okay.
easy as that. I mean, no fuzz about it. But like I said, fantastic product. There
So are you
go.
gonna put the beef kakuni now in your menu?
Actually, most likely, yes. How funny! I just had a booking for a Japanese embassy, so this is what I'm gonna serve them.
Really
Yes, on
nice.
the 29th. Yes, on the 29th. So there you go, and there you have it.
Yay! Wow, yummy.
Yeah,
You know, Filipinos love Japanese food, so I'm sure
yeah,
this will be a hit in your restaurant if you do it.
yeah.
Okay. So, can we call in Chef Carlo? Chef Carlo.
Carl,
Ano?
what do you think of that?
Looks great, James. I
Really?
wish I could have some here.
Yeah, I wish we can have some.
You know what, guys? I have a surprise for you. Okay, close your eyes,
What?
please. Close your eyes.
What?
Close your eyes. Just close your
Okay,
eyes.
okay.
Right.
Yes, yes, yes.
All right. 1, 2, 3. There you go.
Oh,
Wow!
hey, look at that.
Yeah!
Thank you.
Galing mo, James! Galing
See?
mo!
Okay,
Okay, so
guys.
let's dig in.
Yeah,
We'll dig in.
Yeah, I get to try it.
Okay.
Tell me how it
We
tastes.
gotta try this.
Yes, please. Honest opinion, guys. Please.
Of course, delicious.
All
It's
right.
delicious, James.
Tell
And
me about
the
beef.
mustard
Tell
and
me
the
about
mash
the
goes
beef.
really well.
Really? Thank you.
Very good,
Thanks,
very
guys.
good.
What was that look, Carl? Is somebody wants
Yeah.
to share it or what?
Yeah, I think
Guys,
somebody
it's
off
very
camera here
delicious.
wants some.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
I wonder if the ambassador was able to taste this. Were they able to taste this? Let's have a look.
All right. There you go.
Ayun. Okay. So I'm happy you're also serving them. I'm happy that they are able to taste it as well. So let me get down again to the beef business. Um, is there a marked difference from the other beef that you've tried before, without really naming the beef?
Well, for me, it's consistency. Like I said, these Canadian beef grow in one region, so the weather's the same. What they feed them is the same. So, consistent product, really. I mean,
Yeah, for me,
we've
yeah,
visited.
for me, it's the flavor.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for me, it's in the flavor. So, from what I understand, Canadian beef spends time on pasture on the grass before it gets finished with grain. For me, that makes all the difference in the flavor of the beef. Because other beefs are just as soon as they come off the mother's milk, they're straight on the feedlot. They're stuffed with corn, and it's a different flavor profile altogether. This one, you've got some real depth of flavor as well as the best attributes of the grain at the end.
And honestly, Joe, we
So-
saw it firsthand.
Yeah.
We saw it firsthand how
Yeah, exactly.
how they took care of the beef. I mean, the cow, and
So
it's amazing. It's amazing.
so you really believe that how the cattle was raised affects the taste of the meat?
Absolutely.
That makes all the difference. That makes all the difference.
Absolutely. So, how
Okay.
they feed
So
them,
at this point,
how they feed them and how they put them to sleep, right, Carlo?
Exactly.
It's
very,
so-
very
It's
humane.
so
humanely.
Yes, it's so humane. I mean, of course, at some point you wonder how they do it, but this one really, from start to finish, we were able to see it from that factory that we went to.
And nothing
Okay.
wasted as well.
Chef Carlo, Chef James, Chef Carlo, thank you. And I appreciate that you understand the product so much. I appreciate it. For this, I'm sure people also learned, although Carlo, you did not give all the secret recipes, but I understand. Okay. So at this
I said
point,
most of the ingredients, but we'll get there.
okay, that's it. You're forgiven. You deserve your own trade secrets.
Maybe on the next webinar. Maybe on the next webinar.
Okay. Okay, so thank you guys. Thank you. I'll see you again in the panel discussion later on. Thank you.
Thanks, Joel. Thanks.
Okay, bye.
Thank you, Joel.
Okay, as mentioned in our pre-programming, the ladies, Angel and Diana, also invited a Filipino-Canadian who actually worked for quite a while in Canada and is back in the Philippines for a while because he's also attending to other things. So I'd like to now officially introduce our next speaker. Our final guest for this afternoon is a certified Red Seal pastry chef in Canada. He is a former head pastry chef of the Hotel Arts Group, as well as the Kananaskis Mountain Lodge, a four-diamond resort in Alberta, Canada. Our guest chef is currently the co-owner of Chef El Patisserie, a pastry shop based in the Philippines, and was awarded the Excellence in Culinary and Pastry Arts by the Filipino Champions of Canada. A member of the SAIT's Pastry and Baking Arts Program Advisory Committee, he is also an Education Board Director of the Philippine Culinary Federation of Canada. As co-founder of the Filipino Food Movement, YYC, their aim is to promote and spread awareness of the Filipino cuisine in Canada and build a better stage to celebrate and elevate the Filipino food experience. His most recent event at Oxbow was called Balik Kultura, which is Tagalog for going back to your roots. I would like to welcome Chef Ellie Rowen Salar. Hi, Chef Ellie.
Hi, Joel. How are you?
Sorry to make you wait a long time. You're our last, but definitely not the
No, it's okay.
you're
No
bringing in
problem
a
at
different
all.
perspective. Bringing in a different perspective because you've been immersed in both worlds, Canada and the Philippines. So maybe
Mhm.
tell us first before you go on your cooking demo on your experience in Canada as a Filipino chef.
Yes, yeah. Canada is very special, especially Calgary. I get to work with so many talented chefs, great companies that has so much passion in food. So while in Canada, I had opportunity to work with Filipino-Canadian chefs from Canadian Culinary Federation of Canada, Chefs and Cooks, and Philippine Culinary Federations. So we did some events that showcase not just our skills, but mainly our cuisine and our culture using Canadian and Filipino ingredients. So we made some Filipino dishes using Canadian beef. Um, and I had an opportunity as well to be immersed in um, Academy of SAIT. So this is one of the best culinary school in Canada. And then I saw how hands-on they're training. I get a chance to mentor aspiring chefs, and their skills are unbelievable. So it was a great experience.
Hey, chef, what brings you back to the Philippines?
Well, working with chocolate has been my favorite thing to do as a chef. So I had this opportunity to be part of starting a Philippine chocolate business here in the Philippines. It's called Lirio Chocolate. So that's one reason I'm here. What we do is we grow cacao in VPO farms here in Agusan del Sur. It's a single state cacao. And then we process everything. And then the goal is to promote the product and introduce it to global market. So that's why I'm here.
Okay, so chef, you clearly established that you do pastry, you do savory, and you also like chocolates. So now can we
Yes,
let the
yeah.
people witness you combine the two, combine savory and
Yes,
chocolates?
yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
let's
for
watch
sure,
this.
yeah.
So today I will show you my version of a grilled steak with cacao nib and imitos. So for our steak, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to rub a little bit of olive oil to make sure that it doesn't stick to our grill. So we have here a nice rib-eye steak. It's from Canada. Put some olive oil, salt and pepper. So I'm just going to set it aside for a bit while we make our crust for our steak. We have here cacao nib. So it's a cacao nib from Lirio Chocolate, about 100 grams of almond. Of course, we have here mitos to give it a nice sweet. I'm going to add a little bit of calamansi. Of course, a little bit of salt and pepper. So I'm just going to go ahead and grind it, and then we'll set it aside and then use it just right before our steak is done. So now our steak is pretty much almost done, about to medium rare. Press some butter to it. And then I'm going to put our crust on top. And then we're going to have it rest for about 5 to 10 minutes. All right, so while we are waiting for our beef, I'm going to make another dish. It's one of my personal favorites. It's called Filipino beef salpicao. First, we're gonna marinate the beef. I have here a ribeye steak from Canada. So first, we have oyster sauce, Worcestershire sauce, and then some soy sauce. I'm gonna use kaong sweetener. So some salt and pepper. Just gonna mix it, and we'll set it aside. Make sure your pan is nice and hot, and then I'm gonna add some olive oil. We're gonna add our beef. So I'm just gonna sear it for about a minute or two. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and start adding garlic, fresh green onions. I'm gonna add some chili. Add some butter. All right, then that's it. All right, so to plate our dish, our beef salpicao, I have here some Antolin rice. So nice and hot. I'm just gonna put it on top. Right, I'm just gonna garnish it with some more garlic flakes, fresh green onions. Right, so that's our dish. Beef salpicao. Plate our steak. We have here our ribeye steak, and I'm gonna make a quick salad, which is very easy to make. We also have for our sauce. I'm gonna use some adobo sauce, and then I'm just gonna grate a little bit of tablero. Right, and then I'm gonna place our Antolin rice in the middle, and I've cut some of our steak here. Here, I'll get a little bit of salad on the side. Carrots as well, just to get some colors. That's it. So that's our steak, and of course our beef salpicao. We use for both this. We use a ribeye steak. So that's it. Thank you.
There you go. Chef Ellie, baka may magic ka din.
Hi.
Kaya mo bang produce din dito ngayon yun?
I wish meron akong same magic kagaya kay Chef Joel.
Chef James. Okay. Anyway, why did you choose the dishes that you
Sorry,
that you
Chef
cook?
James.
Uh,
Well, this dish is very important to me as well because it's very traditional. While I was in Canada, you talk about Canadian cuisine, you always have to have steak, and it's simple and easy to make. Just have a potato, baked potato or mashed potato with it. It's so easy but so good, especially having a great flavor from a Canadian beef. At the same time, I did a salpicao because it's very traditional here in the Philippines because you get that very familiar flavor from soy sauce, sweet soy sauce, and lots of garlic. And sometimes before when I was little, I used to make a beef dish. It's called, but I didn't realize it's pretty much similar to beef salpicao because of using soy sauce, sugar, and garlic. So that's why I did those dishes.
Okay, so you mentioned also that you are also a chocolatier, right? And that you came to the Philippines to help establish
Yes, yeah.
Lirio Chocolates. How did that come about?
Mhm. Well, most of my experience is in pastry and in chocolate. So while once in a while I come visit here in the Philippines and I do some classes as well. I like teaching. So it so happened when I do my classes, I use other chocolate brands, imported chocolates, and I was like, we have lots of cacao here. Why why I don't use Filipino chocolate? So I had this opportunity to work with amazing people to start this Lirio chocolate, and that's something that we want to promote as one of the Filipino products and introduce it, especially in Canada.
So yung Lirio chocolates nakakarating na sa Canada.
No, not yet. No, we haven't.
But that's the aim, right?
We're hoping. Yeah, that's the goal. Yes, yeah, we're hoping. Hopefully next year when everything gets better.
Okay, Chef Ellie, I'd like to bring in also Chef James and Chef Carlo into the picture. Chef James is also primarily a pastry chef, right? So you have that in common. Diba? Maybe you can send James some of your chocolates para matry niya.
I would love to do that.
Okay, guys. Again, let's talk about the beef. Okay, so let's talk about the beef. What do you think is the future of beef in your cuisine, in your dining? What you will offer to the dining experience of the Filipinos.
Well, for me, it's there's a lot of future ahead of the Canadian beef because they're bringing in a lot of cuts now, unlike before, and the quality. They start from the top, right? The prime cuts, and that's what we need in order for us to learn more of these kind of beef, right?
So you mean that hindi not all cuts were available in the Philippines?
No, I mean just like other beef that comes in here, it's not really the prime cuts how they started. They bring in the secondary cuts, but I think Canada is doing it differently. They're actually bringing in the prime cuts now, so we learn from them and then we cascade it, coming down.
Yeah, that's definitely the right way to go.
Which is the right way to go because
absolutely.
Because our mentality, like the Filipino, if we were introduced with the secondary cuts, we would always think that is the best, but it's not. So it's actually doing the reverse, coming from the top, going down. So like there's actually a prime and then triple A. So those kind of things, like in other countries, they have the prime, the select, the choice. So again,
I mean, the prime and the AAA are the ones to use from what I've experienced, and I'm really happy that things like the brisket, the short ribs, and the chuck are coming in, so I can get creative, and definitely you'll be seeing it used in my establishments as much as I can.
I think also, Joel, the beauty of this coming in, there's going to be other products of Canadian products coming in aside from the beef. So we would open the floodgates in such a way. Like look at these.
So maybe
potatoes, yes.
So maybe we can ask Ellie. Ellie, having been in Canada for 10 years, what other products do you think the Canadian Embassy should help promote here in the Philippines that would be a hit here in the country? What other Canadian products should they be pushing?
Well, since I'm in the baking industry, baking has evolved a lot here in the Philippines. And before we're just using plain regular flour, right? So now a lot of bakers now starting doing their own sourdough and stuff like that. And I think it's great. Canada has rye flour, wheat, and all that stuff. And I can see that started coming here in the Philippines. We have a lot of produce as well in Canada. Fruits and stuff like that. We have one of the best, so I can see that started to come here in the Philippines.
And absolutely.
You agree?
Yeah, from my experience of traveling to Canada, it has pristine, untouched lands. So whatever produce comes from those lands, the seafood, the fruits like the low bush blueberries that we saw in Prince Edward Island as well, it's completely different to anywhere else in the world. So I mean, it's the lands, the beautiful lands, and the environment that give us the great produce.
And we're missing a point here. I think if you talk about pricing, it's comparable to what other products coming in. So that's the key. Of course, every product that comes in here, it's all about the pricing. But I tell you, it's comparable to the others, and the quality is even much better. So there you go.
Okay, so is the supply steady? I mean, is it something you can count on? If you have a regular restaurant running, is it stable, the supply?
Yeah, absolutely. I think a couple of years ago, it was a little, it was just starting to come in the market. So sometimes it would go out of stock and you'd have to supplement with something else. But I think now, from what I've experienced, everything's pretty standard and I don't have a problem with supply anymore.
I same here. I never had a problem when I order. So yeah, it's always available.
Mhm. Yeah, I think it's great that the
So
Canadian
I
government
know.
has a good support from this farmers, right? So we could, I think it's easier for them to export here in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Definitely.
potato initiative is actually excellent. That they had the Canadian seeds here be planted by the Benguet farmers, and I heard that the yield was increased so much by doing this. So wonderful, wonderful. And
I mean,
anyway,
and it's not just
we
the
are
yields. It's not just the
yeah.
yields. It's the fact that we can actually get different breeds of potatoes for the first time here in the Philippines. I'm so looking forward to this.
And it's available
Okay,
in
so we are
CDO, also, coming from CDO, not just Benguet. So they have.
Wow.
yeah. Okay, so we're almost at our 1 hour and a half mark. I know it feels like it came by so quickly, but because we had so much content, that's why that's it. Hopefully, we will have more of this in the future. But at this point in time, I would like to ask you to deliver your final messages. I'm gonna do it backwards. Can I start with Chef Ellie, please?
Yeah. First, I would like to thank Wolfix, of course, for having me, chefs, and for all those who are watching. I guess this is a great initiative that we introduce Canadian products into the Philippines, same as how we introduce Philippine flavors to Canada when I was there as a chef. And I hope to see more collaborations like this in the near future and educate people on how to use great quality ingredients such as Canadian beef, especially in the food service industry here in the Philippines. And yeah, I hope to work with you guys in the near future.
Yeah, looking forward to working with you again, Chef Ellie. Maybe in a longer time frame, and don't leave the Philippines without engaging with us first, huh? Okay.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
All right.
For
So thank
sure.
you, Chef Ellie, and then I'd like to bring in now Chef James for your final message.
Hi, everyone. Joel, again, thank you for inviting me to this webinar. I would like to thank the Canadian Embassy for, again, doing this. Diana, Angel, Chef Matthew, and the rest of the crew. Thank you. This is very important to me, as important as, I have visited Canada and I saw exactly the products that I'm using now, that I can tell a story about it. And I believe in this product, and I hope that there will be more products to come. To the importers, please bring it on. Again, happy cooking to everyone. No fear but joy of cooking. I always say that with this pandemic. Please stay safe, and thank you so much. God bless.
Thank you, Chef James. You always do say that, and hopefully people believe that, the joy of cooking. Okay. So see you in a while. At this time, for the last one to deliver his final message, Chef Carlo Miguel.
Thanks, Joel. So, I mean, I just like to reflect. I just like to echo what James said. Thank you to Angel and Deanna and Chef Matthew and everyone there with Canadian Beef and the Trade Commission. Thank you to His Excellency for gracing us with his presence and allowing me to put into work a bit. Also, what I'd like to say, I guess, is it's fantastic quality meat. And in these times, get some of this on your table. You can buy it at most groceries nowadays. Get it on the table. Put a smile on your family's face. Bring everyone together. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Carlo. I was just informed that the ambassador is still here. I know this is not really planned, but if he's okay, can I invite him to also have a final message? Ambassador, is it okay to get you on board?
Sure. Sure.
Okay.
Briefly, just 2 points. Thank you, Joel. First,
Yeah.
I'm struck by the passion of the chefs. Thank you, Joel, for this. I'm struck by the passion of the three chefs in the craft of cuisine. and I'm really pleased that they're able to explain it to everybody. And my second point is I'm really happy that the volume and the range of product, including higher end product, the AAA beef and other products, on top of other products such as pork and seafood, is coming into Philippines. And I think it's going to be part of getting past COVID to draw in customers into restaurants as they reopen, as the tourists come back for the hotels. It's a great strategy for recovery using Canadian food products. So thank you again very much for this webinar and for organizing it so well.
Thank you, thank you. I'd like to bring everybody in now for our final goodbyes. Okay, once again, thank you, Ambassador, for trusting in us, for allowing us to do this. So at this point, ako po ay nagsasabing maraming salamat.
Arigato!
Arigatos. Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Canadian beef.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Yeah.